Well, guys, we made it. We are on our last page of arithmetic. And I know right now, Olivia, Reese, Riley, if you guys are watching this, I know right now you guys are screaming with joy. And you're going, yes, 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 no more math pages, woohoo! So, this is a good review for your math test. Area and perimeter. So we're going to go right to our page 305 and 306. We're going to go over our page. So for section 1 is write the formulas. You do that and then press play. Okay, so here's our formulas. For the area of a square, so we think of a square, all the sides are equal and we're trying to find the inside of it, so we would do the top row times the side row to get the entire thing. So it's going to be area, or A equals side times side, or A equals S times S. For B, we right across we have the area of a rectangle. Now, so we're going to start with A, but this time we're talking about deep and wide, but instead of depth and width, we're talking about length and width. So we have length and then we have width, and the length times the width. So area equals the length times the width. Remember, with a rectangle, two sides are equal and two sides are equal. Okay, C, perimeter. So we're back to the letter P, perimeter. So remember, whatever you're looking for, area has the A and perimeter begins with P. So for perimeter is P, and we're looking for a square, so P equals 4 times S. In the perimeter of a rectangle, we have length and width. So it's P equals, remember, two sides are the same and two sides are the same. So it's P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W. Now, right now, I want you to put a big star by section 1. And if you do not know these formulas for these, you need to put a star by them and remember them because you will see them tomorrow. Okay. Now, section 2, you will also see this tomorrow. They want you to be familiar with perimeter and area. Now remember, perimeter is the distance around an object, and area is the measure of the area of the part inside. So, like if we're looking at your screen right now, and I'm looking at my screen, the perimeter is all on the outside, and then the area is all the amount inside. I'm trying to think, like if you're, on the playground, we all obviously prefer the area of the playground. Some of you, I think, prefer the perimeter because you always kick the ball over the fence, and then you're asking, can I go get the ball? So, yeah, I know some of you do that on purpose. So that is the perimeter, the outside of it. Okay, so on section 2, sorry, I feel like my eye is like got something in it. Find the perimeter and area of these scale drawings. So, for A, for perimeter, so we're going to do P equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, because it's a rectangle. So put that formula. P equals 2 times L plus 2 times W. Length is always longer, so then we say P equals, let's plug it in, 2 times 17 plus 2 times 9. Skip the line. P equals, what is 2 times 17? 34, yes, plus, what's 2 times 9? 18. So P equals 34 plus 18, and add those together, and what do you get? P equals 52 feet. Now to check this, if you were to add 17 plus 9 plus 17 plus 9, that's how you would get 52. Now, the reason why they do 2 times the length plus 2 times the width is because two sides are the same. So instead of adding, you can just do 2 times one side, 2 times one side. Get it? All right. Now, underneath that, so go underneath. Now it says do the area. So our area for a rectangle is A equals L times W. skip a line. A equals 17 times 9. And then do what's 17 times 9? It is 153. But it's not just 153 feet, it's 153 square feet. We have them in squares. Now B, now we actually have a square, and we're finding the perimeter of a square. So we're actually using a different recipe, a different formula. So scratch that out. And now we're doing perimeter of a square. So we're going to do P equals 4 times S. And the reason why is because all four sides are the same, so you could just do 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5, but it's faster just to do it times 4. So we're going to say P equals 4 times S. Zoop, skip a line. P equals 4 times 2 1/2. Now P equals, what do we do with this? Easy, we just change it to an improper fraction. So we just multiply across. P equals 4 over 1 times, what's 2.5 as an improper fraction? Remember, multiply down, add up, 5 over 2. So 4 over 1 times 5 over 2. Cancel the 4 and the 2, and you get 1 and then 2. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times 1 is 1. P equals 10. Yes, so P equals 10 yards. Now, if you look at that square, 2.5 plus 2.5 is equal to 5. And then if you did 5 plus 5, that is 10. Okay, now look underneath, and now we're going to do our area. So do A. What's our formula for an area of a square? It's A equals S times S, or area equals side times side. A equals S times S. Zoop, skip the line. A equals 2 1/2 times 2 1/2. Now A equals, now for this we would just change these both into improper fractions. So remember, it's 5 over 2. So because you multiply down and add up. 5 over 2 times 5 over 2. Can't cancel anything, so multiply across and you get P equals 25/4. We don't leave it as an improper fraction, so we divide 25 divided by 4, and we get 6 1/4. 6 1/4, not just yards, 6 1/4 square yards. That was a little tough. Now we're on C. P equals, it's a rectangle, so the formula, P equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. P equals 2 times 100 plus 2 times 27. Skip a line. P equals 200 plus 27 times 2 is 54. P equals 254 inches. Now for the bottom, it's area. A equals L times W. A equals 100 times 27. Now I love this one because you can do it in your head. Because 27 times 1 is 27, and then you just add the 2 zeros at the end. 2,700. 2,700, not just inches, but square inches, because we're looking at the area. Alright, now for section 3, it's follow the signs. I'm going to give you the answers for these, but if you don't know these, I'm going to attach the answer key so you can look at them and just see how to do it. 3,151, obviously you know how to do that. 181,383. C is 6 3/4. So what you had is you got 16 1/4 minus 9 2/4, which you cannot do. So you would have to borrow and make it 15 5/4 minus 9 2/4, and that's where you get 6 3/4. We haven't done that for a while, but that's how you do that. And then D, we're adding, we get 201 and 18 twelfths. Change 18 twelfths into 1 and 6 twelfths. You can reduce that to 1 1/2 and add that to 201, and you get 202 1/2. Phew, that was a lot. Now A, Mr. Monroe. Ooh, who's Mr. Monroe? Is that Miss Monroe's husband? Just kidding. Yeah, he had to change his name for her. Maybe. Mr. Monroe planned to have cement poured on his carpet floor. Now think about this. He's having cement on a carpet floor. First of all, that sounds very weird, but but if he's doing it on the floor, is that the area or the perimeter? It's the area, so think about that in your mind, okay? So the floor is 15 feet by 18 feet. If the cement costs $14.50 per square yard, what will be the cost of the floor? Now, this is quite a big step problem. First, we have to figure out what's the area of this rectangle. And we have 15 and 18. So we have two different lengths, which means it's not a square. It's a rectangle. So we do A equals L times W. It's the area of a rectangle. A equals L times W. And then we do A equals 15 times 18. When you do that, you will get 270 square feet. Now that's great to know, 270 square feet, but we're being charged by the square yard. So now we have to take this answer that we just put down and we have to change this into square yards. Now we're going from feet to yards, smaller to larger, divide. But we are not dividing by 3 because we're talking about square yards. How many feet are in a square yard? 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. So now we have to divide 270 square feet divided by 9, because we're talking about square feet, just in case you got lost. 270 divided by 9, or would be 30. Because 27 divided by 9 is 3, and then 0 divided by 9 is 0. So 30 square yards. Now we take our square yards and multiply it times 1450 per square yard. So 1450 times 30. And we get $435. It gets expensive, I know. Now, B. Mr. Melbourne has a small farm of 24 acres. How many square feet is his farm? And then it says there are 43,560 square feet in 1 acre. So, what you have to do there, you're going from acres. This is a measurement problem. You're going from acres to feet. And you're going from larger to smaller, so you're multiplying that 24 times 43,560. And I'm just going to tell you the answer. It's 1,045,440 square feet, or 1,045,440 square feet. Wow, that's a huge number. Section 5, this is just review. I'll tell you the answers. You don't have to do this, but it's 16,133, 128, 135, and 636.7. Don't forget those decimal points. Now, this section is important, section 6, and it would be 51 hundredths is 0.51. 23 hundredths is 0.23. 16 and 3/10 will be 16.3. The next one would be 342.003. E would be 61.7. And the F would be 0.01. Now you should be able to tell these temperatures. It is 27 degrees Celsius because you're counting odd numbers by 23, counting by twos. And the next one is 57 degrees Fahrenheit. The next one is 51 degrees Fahrenheit. And the last one is 21 degrees Celsius. Now this one is kind of cool. You're putting a graph. Now remember, it says day 1 is 20. So you're going to go up that line day 1 and you're going to plot 20. Then you plot 25 for day 2, For day 3, you're going to plot 50. Day 4, 35. Day 5, 20. Day 6, all the way up to 60. And day 7 is 70. And then you can connect those points. And then for averaging, you would add and divide by the number of addends. So you would add those up, divide them, and you would actually get 40. I know we went through all of that really fast. I don't expect you to do all of those, but you definitely should have done section 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and probably 6. Those were really important. Tomorrow is your exam. You are going to need to know. You're going to need to know some of your geometry. So you're going to need to know, let me see if I can find it right now. Okay, what is this? This is a square. You should be able to draw one. What are these? These are parallel lines. What is this? Remember I said it's like the sun and then it's ray. This is a ray. These are intersecting lines. This is a trapezoid, and you should be able to draw a trapezoid. This, no beginning, no ending, it's a line. Sorry, my eyes are itchy. This is a simple closed curve, right angle, polygon, angle, a rhombus, which looks like a square, slanted, triangle, circle. This is a point. This is a line segment because there's 2 points. These are congruent angles because they're twinsies. This is a parallelogram, which looks like a rectangle that is on its side. This is a rectangle, and this is perpendicular lines. Alright, you will need to be familiar with your formulas like I already told you. Area of a rectangle, area of a square. Area of a rectangle is A equals L times W. Area of a square, A equals S times S. Perimeter of a rectangle, P equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. And perimeter of a square, P equals 4 times the side. And you'll need to know those, and there will be a section where you will have to know how to plug in those formulas of perimeter and area and know them. So make sure you know those. Make sure you remember all of our cards. I told you to memorize these. Deca, which is 10. 100 is hecto. Kilo is 1,000. Deci, decimal, 1/10 or 0.1. Centi, this is our, remember cents, which would be 0.01 or 1/100th. And then milli is 1/1000 or 0.001. You can remember those by how many zeros are in that number, 1,000 or different things like that. Know how many quarts, how many quarts are in one peck? There are 8. How many pecks are in one bushel? There are 4. And remember we said that a peck, this is like when, or quarts and a peck. A quart is like when you go strawberry picking and you get the quart of strawberries. It's like a nice cute little square. And then if you have a bunch of those, if you have 8 of those quarts, that will make a peck. And that will be like a whole, almost like the size of our mini trash can that we had in our classroom. Then if you take 4 of those trash cans and put them together, that's when you'll have 1 bushel. So that will be 1 bushel. Be familiar with all of those. And you know how many feet are in a mile. 5 tomatoes or 5280, 5,280. Be familiar with our fractions. Remember how I told you if it's smaller, you're going to reduce it, and if it's larger, you're going to divide. be familiar with our fractions. You did those the other day, and adding and subtracting of fractions, and multiplying of fractions, and decimals, and make sure you know your decimals and all of those, and you should be ready for tomorrow. I know you're going to do great, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.